Sony looking to purchase well-known developer, Pokemon Pocket's making bank, and the top 5 most nominated games in this year's Game Awards. But first, Ubisoft has updated a near-decade-old game because, sure, why not? Ubisoft has announced a surprise update for Assassin's Creed Syndicate. Users that own the action stealth title on PS5 and Xbox Series X and S can now enjoy the game in 60 frames per second. Additionally, users who own the game on PS5, PS5 Pro, and Xbox Series X can also play the game in 4K. Ubi didn't mention if it's 4K and 60 FPS at the same time, or whether you gotta choose with a performance setting, but considering it's a 9-year-old game, I hope both. But you can also probably count the amount of people playing Assassin's Creed Syndicate on 2 hands, so... Speaking of updates, as I promised yesterday, here is every game that's currently been announced as of I'm recording this vid, so 10:30 the previous day, coming to PS Plus and Xbox Game Pass. We're gonna start with Game Pass. Little Kitty, Big City, and Plate Up will be joining Game Pass Standard on November 20th. Nine Souls and Aliens Dark Descent will join Ultimate and PC Game Pass on the 26th and 27th of November, respectively. Before we move to PS Plus, here's a quick update from yesterday's story about the games leaving Game Pass. Hello Neighbor 2 and Telltale's The Walking Dead, the final season, were also announced to be leaving Game Pass on December 1st, just like all the others. But let's move back to talking about games joining, going to PS Plus. In the PS Plus Extra and Premium tiers, I don't know if the games between each tier are different in terms of these editions or anything. So sorry if you have PS Plus and these games are exclusive and you can't get them. Anyway, Chivalry 2, Clash Artifacts of Chaos, Digimon Survive, Dying Light 2, Stay Human, Grand Theft Auto 5, because you will never escape GTA 5, Hungry Shark World, Killer Frequency, Like a Dragon, Ishin, MotoGP 24, one of these things is not like the others, Overcooked, All You Can Eat. You can remember yesterday I mentioned that Overcooked was leaving PS Plus because they're bringing in All You Can Eat, which is the first and second Overcooked games in a bundle. Stick Fight, the game, and The Sims 4, Island Living. All of those games are available now. Right now. Coming to PS Essentials is Death Note, Killer Within, which I didn't know existed, Ghostwire Tokyo, and Hot Wheels Unleashed 2, Turbocharged. Maybe in the future we could see some more FromSoft titles joining PS Plus, especially if the rumors about Sony buying their parent company are true. According to Reuters, Sony is currently in talks to purchase Kadokawa. It's believed the main intention of Sony buying the media conglomerate is to obtain more anime licenses, because they don't have enough of those already. Should the acquisition occur, Sony would also obtain 70% of FromSoft. They already own 14%. As well as Octopath Traveler developer Acquire, RPG and pixel game maker owners Gacha Games, and Spike Chunsoft, best known for developing Game Awards 2024 Best Fighting Game nominee Dragon Ball Sparking Zero, and the Danganronpa games! Yes, I had to do a Monokuma voice. I had to. Just a note, though I do have a partial Sony bias, I don't really like this idea. Sony already owns so much of the anime distribution in the West, a lot of it through Crunchyroll, so they don't really need more, and I'm generally not a fan of big companies buying other companies, and so hopefully this deal doesn't go through and Kurokawa is able to just keep functioning as they are now without any issues. Thankfully though, there are some companies we don't have to worry about being bought by large corporations, like the Pokemon Company. Wait. Anyway, Eurogamer is reporting that Pokemon trading card game Pocket has earned over $120.8 million from its release to November 17th. That is about $6 million $350,000 a day. If you're curious, that's a lot. Almost half of that aforementioned 120.8 million comes from Japanese users, with American users accounting for just over a quarter. I believe it was 28% specifically. And I guess those premium passes are a Poke Goldmine. Anyway, here's another story about Nintendo properties, courtesy of Games Radar, pardon me. Cosplayer Sakigake, I probably butchered that, I am so sorry, posted a video on Twitter, or X, whatever you want to call it, I don't care, showing them struggling to unsheath a sword in their Link cosplay. The video went somewhat viral and got the attention of Super Smash Bros. Creator and longtime Nintendo developer Masahiro Sakurai. Sakurai then reveals that Link actually pulls his scabbard or his sheath, I think they're the same thing, I'm not an expert in these things, pulls it down by pulling his sword up, which is interesting. Why not just put it to the side? If there's any experts on swords on the audience, feel free to tell me if, one, sheathing a sword over your back is actually a thing that's historically accurate that anyone did, because it just feels clunky, and also why wouldn't you just put it at your side? Maybe it's just a visual thing that's just from movies. It wouldn't be the first time. Regardless, Sakigake uploaded another video of them actually getting able to get the sword out of the sheath, out of the scabbard, using Sakurai's tips and probably quite a bit of practice. Heading into our headline story, carrying over from yesterday's news where I said a lot of the categories and the nominees for the Game Awards, we now know the top 5 most nominated games. In first, it's a tie between The Little Blue Robot That Could, Astrobot, look, I didn't say it the weird way, and the newest release in Square Enix's iconic RPG series, Final Fantasy VII Rebirth, with, aptly, 7 nominations apiece. Taking the bronze medal is Metaphor Refantasio, with 6 nominations. And rounding out the top 5 is indie darling Balatro and Silent Hill 2 with 5 nominations apiece. If you want to see and vote on all the categories, visit the Game Awards website. You can do that all there. You don't need an account to view, but you do need to sign in with your email to vote. It's not that big of a deal. Use DuckDuckGo or something to remove trackers if you're paranoid about that and you don't want to be pestered all the time. That's what I do. But if you're not really interested in all the nominations, I think there's 27 categories, and you just want to know what games are up for best blank game, like best action game, best action adventure game, best family game. If you're only interested in that, watch yesterday's video where I went over all those categories and all those games, as well as told the tale of how Nintendo caught a pirate like Sherlock Holmes. Yes, it's as crazy as it sounds. I'll see you all tomorrow. Stay safe, everybody.